All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today we're going to do a video that was a commentary question from one of our subscribers, Thurman Hall. Thurman, I thank you for sending the suggestion. You know how much I love doing these videos that are suggestions from the audience because you don't have a channel like this without subscribers and without loyal followers. So I always want to know what you guys want to know. So anytime you send out something about a video you'd like to see, if I can do that video, then I will gladly do it. So today we're going to do a video basically looking at the differences between inside zone and what I consider wide zone. Make sure you check out some of our sponsors, GameStrat, sideline replay system we use. In the description box down below, you're going to see a link that takes you directly to GameStrat's website if you're interested in the product. If you're looking for a highly reliable, highly affordable sideline replay system, great customer service, make sure you check out GameStrat. All right. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine that we use. We have one in our weight room, thousands of reps without needing a partner. You don't have to have somebody hold a medicine ball or hold a bag. You get it done with one person and the ultimate striking machine in your weight room. Just Play Football, digital sports, digital software, taking your program to the next level. The only play drawing tool that I use if I speak at clinics or if I do any webinars. That's how I'm going to draw things up using Just Play, so make sure you check them out. They also have I think they still have currently going on a Play Fast Football deal from our clinic. So if you go to the Just Play website, you should see on there a Play Fast Football deal for a package. All right, Defense Coordinator 1, an in-game app that allows you to make critical in-game adjustments based on actual in-game data. You're charting the data, somebody on your team or in your staff is charting the live data that's happening so you can actually see what's being run against what you're calling. So you take the guesswork out of making your in-game adjustments, and now you're actually making adjustments based on live in-game data. Max One, which is an app that allows you, as a head coach, to kind of streamline organization, messaging, communication, scheduling, all in one platform. You can get your workouts up on there as well, so if somebody goes out of town, they can still see the workouts. They have some competition things going on the site where the kids can compete, and you can build competition inside the weight room, inside your workouts. You can get messages out to players if something changes, like a time, a date, a practice, go from outside to inside. You need sneakers or you need something else. Make sure you have your long sleeve white shirt or your short sleeve orange shirt. Anything you need to do, you can do through that Max One app, so check that out. And then Dome Hats, which is the headwear sponsor of Play Fast Football and the current high school that I work at. Every coach has a story. Dome wants to let you tell your story through your hat, all right, and through their hat line. They have a custom online hat builder that is phenomenal. You can get on the site, choose any one of the styles of their hats that you want, put your logo on it, change the colors, change the different colors on the panels, change the color on the top, underneath the bill, change the eyelets up top, change the button up top, completely custom. Write things on the side or on the back, completely custom. Online, you generate the hat. Great company, former football players. They understand what we go through, so make sure you check out Dome Hats. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this video as simple as I possibly can. The subtle nuances between inside zone and wide zone. Okay, first thing you have to understand is inside zone is going to be a tighter aiming point. All right, our linemen are going to be looking for the play side number, all right, of a defensive lineman, so we're not really working wider to try and get those guys reached necessarily or overtaken. We're looking for a play side number, looking to get our second step in the ground as quick as possible and kind of move people vertically off the ball. If we can't move them vertically off the ball, then we'd like to at least displace them horizontally so that our back can have a read to make. Normally the first D lineman play side, all right, from the A gap out, all right, is probably what you're going to read, but there's several different reads you can make. I'm not here to talk about what those reads are, but normally you will have something that your back will read, and then if you can't get vertical movement, you're trying to get horizontal displacement so that your back can make cuts, all right, and fix the blocks of the offensive lineman. So it's a tighter aiming point for the back. We like to consider it an A-gap to A-gap run. Normally you'll hear the type of terminology, bang, bend, bounce, so the back has a chance to bang it. He's got a chance to bend it back, or he's got a chance to maybe bounce it front side. All right, so you'll hear the terminology, bang, bend, bounce. It's an A-gap to A-gap run with a tighter aiming point for your offensive lineman. So against a front like this, we'd be aiming for the play side number of the 5, play side number of the 3. We'd be working to the near hip of the 3 to see if we get any movement, if the center has to help with the 3, or the center will climb to the mic. Working to cut off the play side number on the backside. Working to cut off and get up to that backside will with the tackle. So it's a tighter aiming point. It's an inside run. All right, the back is normally going to aim somewhere in that front side A gap. Everybody does it a little bit different. However you do it is up to you. But it will be a tighter inside run, tighter aiming points. All right, we're still going to have to work combinations with our linemen, but we're really not selling out on getting things reached or pinned back inside. If the movement allows us to get somebody reached and the ball can bounce a little bit, so be it. If there's a spike from the 3, all right, and now the center's got to overtake the 3 and the guard has to, absorb the blow into the uncovered lineman to climb to the mic, all right, you still have to work combinations. That's what zone blocking is. You're not necessarily locked on a man. You're working certain covered, uncovered principles and combinations, but it is a tighter running play. All right, the wide zone play, okay, has a completely different aiming point. The wide zone play is going to be something that's going to aim almost to a ghost tight end, all right, and it has basically a C to D gap aiming point, all right, depending on who you talk to, all right, but it's going to aim for a ghost tight end, and now your offensive linemen are going to take a little bit wider aiming point, okay, and to me, the difference between wide zone and outside zone is and you could talk to several different people, and some people will tell you it's the same play, some people will tell you it's different in other ways. To me, the difference is in the wide zone, we are going to aim for that far bicep, all right, and we are going to try and stretch, all right, that lineman as far as we can to see if we can get it reached. But if we can't get it reached, and he does not want us to reach it, we will then either knock it off the ball as hard as we can or knock it out as far as we can and allow the back to go back under. All right, so we're going to aim a little bit wider here than we would on our normal zone stuff. All right, we're going to aim the backside cutoffs will be very similar. You might see more cut blocks on a wide zone than you would on an inside zone because we don't think, all right, the ball is going to enter backside here. All right, the ball may cut up inside a bunch, but because of the movement and the displacement of the gaps, because of the aiming point, when it actually cuts up, it'll cut up still somewhere on the front side. It may go all the way behind the 3 technique, but that's because the 3 technique has widened and moved himself, and we've knocked him out. So the ball goes behind him, all right, but the ball ends up never really going back all the way behind the A or the B gap there. It may look that way. If this nose guard on the backside were to run all the way across and we couldn't get him cut off and we didn't cut him and we ran him all the way past the play, the ball may go behind him. All right, but that's because that backside A gap has moved 6 to 8 yards to the front side because gaps move in the game of football. When linemen move, gaps start to move. Defensive linemen are trying to keep gap integrity. So as that offensive lineman starts to do different things, they start to react to it. So on the wide zone, our back is going to take, all right, a wider aiming point, usually ghost tight end, somewhere along the lines of a ghost tight end or, a yard maybe outside of a tight end if he's there. Okay, our offensive linemen are going to work wider. We're going to work probably to that play side bicep now, not just the number. We're physically going to try and get that thing covered up so we can try to get it reached. The goal would be to get it reached, to get the ball to the perimeter, but the wide zone theory, in my opinion, the ball goes up under way more than it ever gets to the perimeter because a lot of defensive linemen don't want to be reached. They're taught not to be reached, so they fight to reach. So with the wide zone, we allow them to fight to reach, and now we just run them where they want to be, and we let the back make his determination, all right, based on usually against that front, we'd be reading that 5 technique there or whatever that edge player is. And now, if we get that hooked and we go to the perimeter, fine. If that thing gets run out, now the ball's going to go back under. Probably have to check the 3 technique now to see. All right, if we had the 3 technique hooked and the 5 knocked out, the ball would go there. If they both got knocked out, the ball would go up under the 3 technique. Okay, so the wide zone becomes wider aiming point for the back. Okay, the wide zone becomes wider aiming point for the O-lineman. So instead of just play side number, we're now looking to that play side bicep, working to get our helmet actually outside of that. So our footwork has to be a little bit wider because we physically want to stretch that guy and get our helmet out there. If he won't let us, all right, if he won't let us get our helmet out there because he doesn't want to be reached, then we will just block him, take that inside hook it hand, take that real heavy, and now throw it in there and run him to the sideline and let the back go up underneath. All right, so wide zone has a wider aiming point, play side bicep for the offensive lineman. That can change depending on who coaches it. All right, D-gap run, that can go all the way back to the A, B, C gap front side, but those gaps are going to widen tremendously, so the ball's going to hit in a gap according to where the offensive linemen are and the defensive linemen are, not necessarily hit where that gap started. All right, so if that A gap starts here, that football may not necessarily hit here, but if all these linemen and defensive players are moving this way, then when it hits back up inside, it still may hit inside the guard, outside the center, which would technically be the A gap, but the A gap has moved and displaced itself 6 to 8 yards wider. So that's why it looks like it bends back so far all the time, but it really doesn't bend back all that far. It just kind of almost creases directly or just inside of the aiming point that the back originally had. All right, so those are the two major differences between inside zone and wide zone. The back's going to have different footwork. Obviously, I have it drawn up here from the pistol. So in the pistol, it's going to be traditional, more traditional from an eye, wide zone footwork, and the quarterback is physically going to have to reach now and get away, all right, to deliver that football more like an under center quarterback would to reach on an outside zone or a wide zone play. The inside zone for the pistol gets a little bit tricky because the quarterback is going to have to clear the midline so that the back can hit front side A gap so that he can hit the aiming point that we want and he can make the read on the appropriate player that we want to read and make sure that he can press, all right, the aim point with his hips and shoulders square. So on the inside zone, okay, the footwork gets a little bit trickier, but we want that back to still hit this front side downhill. Quarterback's got to clear the midline, all right. Inside zone now for me, from the pistol, the inside zone, this would become where we start to run more of our read game, all right, a little bit more of our RPO game, all right. If we are 11 personnel or wide off 20 personnel with some type of tight end sniffer in there, this is where we will start to get into a little bit more of our isolation stuff, our split flow stuff, okay, and we'll carry more of our RPOs. When we get into the wide zone world, all right, because of the ball handling procedures, mechanics for the quarterback and the steps of the back, now we get into more of an action passing game, all right, and more of a movement passing game, bootlegs, waggles, whatever you want to call them. All right, we get less into RPOs because we're not going to RPO when the quarterback has to turn his back to the defense to deliver the ball to the tailback. So now, just in theory, when we're thinking about our offense, the inside zone is where we're going to carry our reads, maybe some triple options or some key screens, reading off a 5 technique, and then we're going to carry our RPOs, throwing off of a second or a third level safety, defender, apex player. The wide zone is going to become action passes and movement passes because of the mechanics and the ball handling skills of the quarterback. Now, if we are running wide zone stuff with another back in, that's perfectly fine. All we've got to do now is we've just got to tell this back what we want to do. Sometimes we'll split flow and zip the backside. Sometimes we may lock the backside and put him up on a backside inside backer. Sometimes we might boss him to the perimeter and put him on a force player out there. So we can tag with our wide zone stuff. We can tag what we want the back to do. So we can run the wide zone stuff from 20 or 11 wide off with a hybrid tight end player, whatever you want to call him, sniffer. And we can do that in 2-back, okay, and we can still go wide zone split flow. We can go wide zone with an insert. We can go wide zone with a boss. We can do all those different things, but now off of that, we are going to be action pass based, movement pass based. We're not going to be RPO based, and we won't be triple option based. All right, so that is a very simple breakdown of the difference between inside zone and wide zone. These two plays, you could talk about them for weeks on end. The techniques involved, the footwork involved, the steps, the blocking, everything that you need to do. They're topics that have been taught, debated, clinicked for forever and ever since zone has been there. And every year it changes. There's slight changes in what's hot and what's not, and the techniques and all that. So this is just a quick video to show you. Thurman Hall asked the question, what would the difference between inside zone and wide zone be? That would be, all right, in a nutshell, the difference to me. Inside zone is much tighter, A-gap to A-gap run. Wide zone is wider. Offensive linemen are going to have a little bit different aiming points, and we're trying to do some slightly different things with those runs. All right, so if you haven't subscribed, make sure you click that subscription button. Make sure you turn the notification bell, ring that bell, so you know every time we do a video, or if I go on YouTube Live, you'll get a notification. All right, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. We need to see whether you like the video or whether you don't like the video, so we know what content we need to do for future videos, upcoming videos. All right, and then also any comments or messages you leave, I try to respond to every message that comes through that doesn't show up as spam or blocked or anything else. If it shows up and I can see it, I try to respond to it. All right, I appreciate everything you guys do for Play Fast Football. I appreciate everything you've done for me, all right, as a YouTube creator by following this channel for the last 7 years. So thank you so much. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. I'll catch you guys next time.